Hello again. There seems to be some confusion about the Prime Minister's wife as to whether or not she is actually Jewish. I'm always interested in conversions to Judaism, for my first wife was such a one, that is to say, a convert. This is how Victoria Starmer either is or is not Jewish, according to whom one asks. To be a Jew, one must be either born to a Jewish mother or to convert according to Orthodox custom. Having done so, one is, at least in theory, as Jewish as any other Jew. You have to remember that a lot of the people in the Bible, and famous Jews that is, were not always technically so. Remember Ruth? Whither thou goest, I will go, Ruth, the one who followed her mother-in-law Naomi to Bethlehem. Ruth was, of course, from Moab, which is modern-day Jordan. She married Boaz, and then they had a son called Obed. Obed's son, in turn, was called Jesse, and of course, Jesse was the father of King David, the most famous Jew of all time. Actually, had a great grandmother who wasn't Jewish. Victoria Starmer's claim to be Jewish is based upon her mother's conversion to Judaism in the 1960s. The only kind of conversion which is universally accepted is that undertaken in the Orthodox style. One cannot make Aliyah, that's the same, go and live in Israel under the Right of Return Act, unless one is either born a Jew or has undergone an Orthodox conversion. Did Victoria Starmer's mother have an Orthodox conversion, or was it something undertaken according to liberal Judaism? If so, then many people wouldn't accept it as being authentic, which would, of course, mean that Mrs. Starmer and her children were not Jewish at all. There is reason to think that this might be the case because of something which Keir Starmer said to a journalist, something reported in the Jewish Chronicle. I give a link to the article in the description to this video. He said that the family of his wife's father do not accept her as being Jewish. They're all Orthodox themselves, as indeed is Victoria Starmer's father, Bernard, which strongly suggests to me that her mother's conversion was a bit dodgy, maybe undertaken by a liberal rabbi or something of that kind. This is interesting because it would mean that Starmer's children are not Jewish either in that case. I realise that this is a subject of very limited interest to the average viewer, but as I say, conversions to Judaism is something of an interest of mine. Orthodox ones are very rare, and when they are being undertaken for the purpose of marriage, they're frowned upon. In my wife's case, she was doing it through dedication, and so the Orthodox people were more willing to go along with that. Even so, it's a hell of a process and it takes years. Mind, it's worth it because in the end, one really is as Jewish as anybody who was born of a Jewish mother. You can go and live in Israel, you can marry the most devout and Orthodox of people, you are as Jewish as anybody. This has been a hot topic in Israel at various times over the last few years due to the influx of Indian Jews recently and falashas from Africa a few years ago. There was some agonizing over whether such people are genuinely Jewish or if they would need to undergo conversion supervised by the Orthodox. There is, by the by, something else curious about Victoria Starmer. On her Wikipedia page, her year of birth is given as either 1973 or 1974. This is odd since such information is publicly available. I can't help wondering why there's any confusion over it.